Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about the IRs and the Helix. So I'm currently using a Helix LT, which is a different model to the Helix series. Of course, we've got various others that a lot of worship musicians are buying at the moment, such as the HX Edit, which is just the effects version, and the HX Stomp, which is the mini version. And then in terms of IRs, it doesn't have to be Helix exclusive. So you've got the Kemper, you've got your Axe Effects, which is made by Fractal Audio Systems, and Headrush. Those are the main sort of, you could say, the main lions, the main dogs of the game in terms of technology at the moment with music. Okay? So what does IR mean? It means impulse response. So that is a combination of what I like to think of three things, and maybe a little touch of magic as well. So it's got the combination of the mic, you've got a combination of the room sound and the speaker sound, and it's all captured together to be in processing unit like the Helix or DAW and others that I've mentioned as well. So if you're watching this and your church uses a Helix, this is a great opportunity as well to explore the sound of IRs, and you can also even use them if you're a keyboardist as well. If you want to do function gigs and you need like a rock sound, or for example, guitar speaker cabs are great. And yeah, so let's sort of list the free IRs that I use. In that audio example as well, I used a free patch from Worship Tutorials, and they're a really great American company YouTube channel. You should go and follow them. We use a lot of their backing tracks as well for live worship, and yeah, you can get a lot of great tones from these IRs and these patches, so go and check those out. And Red Wires as well, they have been going for a while. They mainly are sort of a metal type company and metal type sound, but for the high gain, sort of the push clean sound that you can often hear in worship, it's a really great atmosphere to have, especially with a stacked delay, stacked reverb and that kind of thing. Okay, so you've got Red Wires, and you've got Allure as well. They're a really cool company. They're a free patch, and there's about 4 or 5 free packs on there. Then you have the Helix Marketplace. So the Helix Marketplace is great for sort of people who are beginner to this sort of software in the Helix world. So you'll get people like you and I that you can make a patch, upload it for free, and download it for free as well. And that's a great tool for sort of discovering how to use the piece of kit as well, and people can rate out of 5 stars, you know, if they prefer it or not. Yeah, you can, if you're looking for a certain patch, then someone might have uploaded it on there. And it's also great for outside of church as well, if you delve into that, if you're sort of seeking gigs for weddings or function gigs as well. Yeah, that's called the custom tone, and it's all in one place as well. So the marketplace is where you can sort of sell stuff as well. You can buy from a company, Sigma Audio, one of the first to upload their IRs on there, and they're also really good for the Marshall 1960A, I believe. Yeah, but yeah, let's move on to sort of the positives and negatives, as we haven't really talked about that so much at the moment. So I guess for me the positive thing is, like I've said before, it's actual a combination of the technology between analog and the digital world. It just makes it so much easier now that you can kind of grab any sound. If you want to sound like elevation worship or Bethel, you can have the resources to actually do that without the cost nowadays. So it's really great. And most of these sort of cheaper IRs as well that you pay for, they're actually really good quality. You can get up to about sort of $2,000 worth of tech for like $5, and that's also, like I said, Sigma Audio in the marketplace as well. And what I haven't mentioned is CELESTION, because they're the ones that are the top dogs as well. They're a speaker company and they've got loads and loads of impulse responses on their website as well. If you want that sort of American sound, you can go for one of those. The country vibe, if you're a telly player or if you're a Strat player, you know, there's tons of combinations. So go and check the links out there. Moving on to the negatives, I guess. Like I've said about the digital technology a few times. With the Helix itself, I think you've got more scope with the cab sounds, okay? So you can change what mic setting it is on that particular cab, whereas on an IR, if it's too fizzy, you've only got high cut and low cut to mess around with. There's no sort of in-between tweaking options. So that could be sort of a negative, really. Yeah, a negative for the IR, of course. But yeah, that's pretty much it. We'll talk about I'll do a little demonstration of things as well, so you can hear the difference. So we'll do a comparison stock and IR comparison as well. Finally, one last thing. Moving on to the why. If you want to have, like I've said, the sound of baffle elevation, much more cost effective, as I've mentioned before, you know, $5. Whereas, you know, if you're a pedal user, to get that one pedal you like, you're going to be out of pocket before you've even bought all the pedals you need for worship. And that's why I use the Helix, and a lot of worship musicians are starting to use Helix, a lot of session musicians as well, because of the price point and what you can do with it if you're good with the technology. But also it means that you can share Helixes. I've seen on the Line 6 Helix worship users page on Facebook, a lot of people will ask questions about that and how to get a patch and how to share it with other people. It's a great community out there as well. You just got to look for it. And this is what we're trying to do as well, is to help explain a little bit more about the tools that are out there, or you might not necessarily know about yet. Yeah, as this is all terminology as well, but it's good terminology to help you for worship as well. Great, so what I've done here is I've just got a little A/B thing. You could even try this at home if you downloaded an IR yourself and compare it with the gear that you have. That's a great thing to do. So what I've got a 4x12 greenback, and that's the stock Helix cab. Okay, and I've just roughly matched it with the MBRITT Plexi Jump. So Plexi would be a Marshall type sound, yeah. And then for the IR, I've got the Marshall 1960A U87 mic, and I've matched that as well with the Helix as well. So I'm going to A/B between the two, sort of a rough sound there, and I've added some reverb, just a bit more satisfactory sound there. So okay, and now you've got the IR. So this is the one I've been using the most out of the lot that I've downloaded. This is just, you've got more mic options within this one. Way more presence in there, there's way more clarity. As I said about the mics, U87 is a very expensive mic as well. So in terms of modelling, it's hard to replicate that. Yeah, and it also reacts well with the effects that you've got. So I've only got a reverb there, but it just brings it out more clearly. You know, in reality, if you're playing a Helix cab and then you switch to an IR, much more cost effective, as I've mentioned before, you know, $5. Whereas, you know, if you're a pedal user, to get that one pedal you like, you're going to be out of pocket before you've even bought all the pedals you need for worship. On a different patch in worship, the congregation aren't really going to know the difference, and to be honest, nor are the worship band that you're playing with. But it's nice to have that flexibility of switching between a Marshall and then for another song you've got a tweed amp. That's the great thing about this with IRs as well. Those are the sort of sound examples on their own, sort of dry sound as well, and that's why we sort of test them like this. That's why I do anyway, because when you test a sound dry with no reverb or distortion, you can really hear, you know, if that's the sound you want. And a lot of worship sound is clean guitar. It's not like heavy metal or rock where it's saturated, it's very high gain. There's a lot of clarity within each note on worship guitar, and it sustains as well. So that's what you want to look for with IRs. You want to hear if it does well with low gain and also with a stacked sound. So that there was totally natural plexi sound on there, and I dialed in a little bit of gain there. That's really what you want to look for as well. You want to use your ears as well, and look at the reviews on Worship Tutorial as well. Like I said, they're great guys. They know what they're doing in terms of the online YouTube, in terms of worship. They've got loads of examples there that you can head over to.